Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. This will be episode 39 as we give a play-in preview as games show off tonight. It is early in the morning here um, on the East Coast, but we have the play-in preview here for the Lakers versus T-Wolves and the Heat versus Hawks. The play-in has been widely a controversial topic as people didn't want the play-in as usual. They thought it was dumb. They thought they should just have the 7th, 8th seed go to the playoffs. LeBron James has really spoken about that, and he's been in the play-in twice. It all started in the bubble because they were trying to figure out how can we get the seeding right for these other teams that are coming back, players that are coming back from injury, whatever the case may be, joining the bubble. There was a magic number that they were supposed to reach, I believe, and they decided teams off of that. That was kind of the test point for them going forward, and they added it the next season. And I generally like the play-in, even though I think some teams have not been up to their best. But this is the situation that you want, especially this year with all the injuries happening, all the unknowns, teams making trades, trying to make their way back. We have a couple of teams in the play-in that it worked out for them, right? Like the Lakers had a bunch of injuries, made trades, and got back into the thick of things. The Timberwolves, who have lost Karl Anthony Towns, and he's come back. Now they're in the play-in. You look at the Pelicans, who's been up and down with injuries with C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, especially now they're missing him. Now they're in the play-in. They're going up against OKC, a team that's never been to the playoffs with this new young nucleus of SGA and Giddey and Jalen Williams. So you're looking at that standpoint for a minute, and it's like, okay, we have an opportunity here. And you look to last year where the Hawks were able to beat Cleveland and get in as a 10th seed, I believe. So things do happen, right? In the play-in, it creates uncertainty. It's a one-game all. 7 and 8 is a one game, and then whoever is the loser of that game versus not the winner of the 9-10. And so, you get a little tournament action before the playoffs. People are going to watch basketball. It's free basketball. It's an extra game. I do not like how they don't count the stats towards the playoffs. I wish they did that because it does matter. It does count. You are playing a game. It does win. Where do those stats just go in the play-in history? I guess that's fine, but I would like them to add that to the playoffs. But let's get into it here, looking at the first matchup. On the night, we got the Lakers, who are the 7th seed and the 8th seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been teams that have both just been in turmoil majority of the season, kind of turned it around. And now we're looking at this 7-8 matchup as a test point for the Lakers, as a test point for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But let's start off with the Lakers here. The Lakers have the second best record since the All-Star break at 16-7. I believe Milwaukee Bucks have a 17-7 record as the best in the league since the All-Star break. We also have the Boston Celtics, I believe. They're 16-9, a bunch of 16-9s. I believe Philly, I believe Memphis is 16-9 after the All-Star break. But one of the big changes that the Lakers made was trading Russell Westbrook, getting Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell. Vanderbilt has been a huge plus to their defense, and they've been one of the best defensive teams in the league since that trade has happened. That has paid dividends for those guys tremendously. And you just look at how the Lakers, I believe they started off the season 2-10. So to sit there and turn it around now, and then as LeBron James said to Anthony Davis, can you believe that we're above 500 this season after everything, after injuries, after all the uncertainty, after all the injuries to them? Anthony Davis has been there multiple times. LeBron James has had this grueling foot injury that he's suggested that, hey, maybe I can be out for the season with this. I shouldn't really be playing with this, but I am. And to see these guys come together and figure it out, get some type of stability, get some shooting, get some more geometry on the floor that makes sense for their team. You need shooters, you need defenders, you need guys that are going to play tough next to Anthony Davis. They have gotten that. They traded out Thomas Bryant, and all these things that the Lakers went through, they've turned it around and had an above 500 record. Now, the Western Conference hasn't been the best this year, mainly due to injuries, mainly due to teams not figuring it out. But here we are. The Lakers have turned it around, have given themselves a chance to basically pick their poison, especially if they win tonight. Against the Grizzlies, a team that they feel like they can beat. The Lakers can feel like they can beat anybody with this team and this roster right now, right? Like, you got LeBron James, you got Anthony Davis healthy, two guys that are top, 10, 15 players in the league, if you want to just move LeBron down a little bit now, or whatever the case, wherever his age is. But LeBron in the playoffs, anything can happen, right? Anthony Davis playing at this level, anything can happen for them, and you have to just keep that in mind for both of these teams, right? especially you have to keep this in mind for the Lakers. And just to see them turn it around, and especially have this defense and a little bit more shooting with Malik Beasley, the emergence of Austin Reeves, that's something positive Laker fans can hold on to. That's something positive that LeBron and Anthony Davis can be like, okay, we just have to win what? As they would say, 4 out of 7 games, or whatever the case may be. You have to beat a team 4 times. We just have to win 3 games, and maybe one of the other these other guys can have a big game in the playoffs and win us a game. They just have to get the Lakers there. And the possibility against the Timberwolves, against that, we'll see how that goes. But let's talk about LeBron James Anthony Davis. After all the ups and downs of the season, Anthony Davis has finally put together a good stretch here. He has a couple injuries here that he fell on the ground, but he's actually putting it together. He finished up with 28 points. 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks and 1 steals. You think that would, obviously he's played 56 games. I think that would put him into all NBA category, even when you look at all the forwards and stuff like that. So to see Anthony Davis put together a stretch and had that MVP stretch earlier in the season before he went down, to see him play like this heading into the playoffs, he has been the catalyst for this. And it's scary. He's one of the, when you think about all the players in the NBA playoffs, especially in the Western Conference, you look at the big men, you look at all the people who have been injured, who's out, especially in this matchup here, which I'll get into talking about the Timberwolves. You look at Anthony Davis, he's obviously one of the best players in the playoffs in the Western Conference. I don't know how you'll rank them, probably Joker, LeBron, Ja, Kevin Durant, of course, Devin Booker. Anthony Davis is in that mix. So you have one of the top guys in the Western Conference to do that. You got a returning LeBron James where he doesn't have to carry everything. He can lean on D'Angelo Russell to shoot and score. Malik Beasley can shoot and score. Austin Reeves has been able to show that he can facilitate and get to the line. So to have that flexibility there, and especially have Anthony Davis as the big man, LeBron doesn't have to really do as much. LeBron probably only has to play 2 games out of every series to really to win those games, to capture a win for the Lakers. You look at that for them, the Lakers look pretty good. Honestly, they're going in against Memphis, who hasn't had Steven Adams come back as yet. If they win this game, let's just put that in preferences. But I'm just looking ahead here. If they play Memphis, who doesn't have Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, that's their front line. They have Jaren Jackson Jr., has been known to foul a lot. Obviously in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. But when you look at those type of things, looking forward, they can roadmap themselves into a situation where they can go into a Memphis. They can go into a Sacramento, depending on that matchup, whoever they're going to play. Sacramento, Golden State. They have an edge there on the front line against those teams where they can create enough havoc. They have defenders. They can basically place a roadmap. Against Denver, I think it will be a little bit tougher. I think Denver with Joker and Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., all those guys, Aaron Gordon. I think there's a different dynamic there that people don't think. But I think the Lakers can win this game and get their own roadmap and possibly get to the Western Conference Finals. It's not out of the realm to do it. They have the team to do it. They have depth. They have big guys. They have guys that can defend. They have 3-point shooting. But they have to take care of business tonight. But looking back at LeBron James, he doesn't have to carry that as much anymore. He has a lot of guys that a little bit more depth on this team, a little bit more certainty. The only thing is that if these guys can hold up and be healthy, they have to be healthy for 3 straight rounds. Is that possible? Some of these games are going to be really physical. Going to be a lot of bang, a lot of down low. Can they stay healthy throughout this process and get to a Western Conference Finals? I think that's the ceiling for the Lakers. I don't know if they can get to the finals, but they have a chance. You have LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis, you have 2 of the top 10, 15 players in the world. They have a chance to get it done here. Now, let's look at the Timberwolves' chances here. It's quite grim, right? Like, they're not a great defensive team. They just lost all their big men, literally. We all saw the Rudy Gobert punch against Kyle Anderson. A very testy moment, and does not sit well with Minnesota. So well that they sent him home and suspended him 1 game. And to think about that, like, this is a play-in game, and they're like, yo, we don't even want you to play in this game. To think about that, like, we don't even want you to play in this game. Is it possible that they lose this game and can go into the 9-10 matchup and win that game with Rudy Gobert going forward? Possibly. But then they lost Jalen McDaniels, who punched a wall at halftime and broke his hand. So that's another guy gone. And Naz Reid is already gone for the rest of the season with an injury. So you're looking at that, and you're looking at the strengths of the Lakers in their front line and getting to the rim and attacking. and the Timberwolves not being a great defensive team, that kind of puts them in a pickle. Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to step up and really be disciplined in this game. He has not had a great playoff history, but you're hoping that, hey, maybe he can put something together where he shocks the world, shoots well from the field, able to spread the floor a little bit, and probably that's their best chances for the Timberwolves to spread the floor, give Anthony Edwards enough room, give those other guys enough room. Michael Conley can come in and do some things. And you're just hoping that that's the chance for the Timberwolves here. Maybe it can be an entertaining game there because defensively they have no shot. I don't think so. Maybe they can get enough stops. Maybe that's the chance that they're looking at and looking for. But when you look at all those guys that are out, Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, McDaniels, you traded Walker Kessler. Those guys on the roster that you probably would have needed, Jared Vanderbilt, all those guys that you probably would have needed and been better suited for a matchup like this against the Lakers, you do not have because you made it in that Rudy Gobert trade. And now the guy that you traded for, you don't even have. It's crazy to think about it that way, right? Like the Minnesota Timberwolves have had an up and down season. Karl Anthony Towns missed a tremendous amount of time. Recently come back, had some big games, had some big shots. But his history shows, hey, I'm not a great defender. I'm not that guy that can do that on the defensive end, even though he should be. He should be more of a shot blocker, should be more of a rebounder, but just not. But looking at their chances, it seems slim, right? It seems like they have no shot. But I think if they can spread out the Lakers a little bit there on the offensive end, go 5 out, shoot the ball really well, Anthony Edwards creates havoc, and that's what I'm hoping for, right? I'm hoping for a big game from Anthony Edwards. Like Anthony Edwards goes for 50 or something like that, and really positions himself as a star in this league. And that's what I want from Anthony Edwards. I think he's been on the cusp of that, of taking that next step as an NBA player. He's crazy athletic. He has big game shots. We saw it last year in Memphis when he faced them and how tough he was and how ready for the moment he was. This is another big moment for him. It's in LA. Spotlight's going to be on. Let's see what he can do. That's what I'm hoping for Anthony Edwards. I hope he has a big game. Despite whatever happens in this game, I hope he has a good showing. I hope he's able to play well. And hopefully he's able to do that to give the Minnesota Timberwolves a chance. I'm not really giving them a chance because I think the Lakers just have too much firepower. I think they have too much defensively, especially they're able to switch, play big, play small, play big. I think they're going to use their size to advantage and really overpower the Timberwolves on the front line, get to the line, mucky up the game. And Karl Anthony Towns has been known to have foul trouble. The Minnesota Timberwolves are not a great defensive team. So we'll see how this one goes, but I got the Lakers winning this one. Moving on to our next 7-8 matchup, we have the Heat versus the Hawks.